what's up YouTube? Welcome to episode 10 of the RB26 Teardown. If you guys haven't seen the previous videos, I will have them tagged up on the top as well as in the description down below. But this is a 10-part series of a complete teardown of the RB26. In last week's episode, we got the oil pan off with the oil pump, the water pump, and a bunch of other accessories. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and strip down the oil covers on the bottom, the oil pickup. I want to get the main girdle off and pull the crankshaft out. This is going to allow me to finally inspect the bearings because I had a ton of bearing material and I had a turbo. The front turbo failed after running at the track like last September. So I had a bearing failure at the track and was recirculating dirty oil through the engine because I had low oil pressure. My oil pump is only making like 2.5 to 3 bar at best, so with the 405 foot-pounds of torque and 450 wheel horsepower, there wasn't enough lubrication. So as they say, lube it or lose it, right? I'm super excited. 1 week from today, I will be leaving to Ars Day in California. So if you guys want to go down to that, it's at Streets of Willow on April 30th. I'm not sure what time the event starts. I'm going to show up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully that's not too early. I would imagine it would start around 10. So I will see you guys there. Also, one thing I'm really hoping for, I'm leaving for California on the 28th. The Subaru WRX 2022 World Rally Blue Pearl, my brand new car, base model, is supposed to show up that day and be available for pickup in the morning. So if the timing works right, I'll be able to pick up the WRX, take it on a 2,500 mile road trip right from the dealership and take it out for everybody to see. So I'm hoping that works out. Fingers crossed, everybody. So if anything could go right for me, please, 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 Car Gods, Subaru, get that car from Fuji Heavy Industries off the Roro ship to the port of Portland. Get that thing shipped up to Subaru Puyallup so I can pick that thing up. I want to take it to the track event and I want to help promote my YouTube channel. I want to put, stickers and stuff on the car and let people drive it and use that as a tool to help introduce myself. My voice sounds a little bit different because I'm getting over a cold. This is the first cold I've had in a couple of years since COVID started with all the masks I've been wearing and washing my hands. It's kind of sucks. So I'm hacking up a bunch of green phlegm, but I need to get out here and get some work done. It's like 11:30 right now. I'm going to work at 2 o'clock today to work a 3 to 11 shift, working OT to help pay for the RB build. But yeah, let's start taking off this stuff. I'll put you guys up on a tripod. I'll get my lights on. So one thing I need to get removed before I can get started is this rear main seal. I should have done that before we mounted the engine on the stand. So I got a bunch of little 10 mil bolts here. We'll get that out and then I should be able to just pry this off and away. And then we'll start with the oil covers, oil pickup, and then main girdle. So I do have a factory service manual and I do have a link in my about information. If you guys need this factory service manual, there's a resource. You basically can just do a Google search for BNR32, but somebody spent the time to put all this through Google Translate, and it's a 1,000-page manual, and it tells you everything you ever need to know. Like with the oil pump last week, I wish I would have had some feeler gauges so I could go through and measure all the tolerances and everything. Like this has all the little information, tells you the the torque specs and how to take things apart, the tightening sequence, like right here, the filler gauges. I need to get myself a set of those, and maybe next time measure some stuff out. But what we're going to be working today is right here. So let's take all this stuff apart, and let me see if there's I don't know if it really matters when you're loosening the crankshaft, if there's like a specific order sequence, bearing housing grade. Yeah, here's a rear main seal. Okay, now that we have the rear main seal all loosened up, I'm just going to put a little flathead screwdriver, pop that right off, pull that out. And okay, so it says basically right against the girdle, you use a flathead and you just stick it down between this little slot. And we can pry this off by just using a little bit of pressure. So let's go ahead and do that. Pretty simple actually. Comes right off very easily. go. So as far as the RTV from this rear main seal, this stuff looks super old. I'm not sure if the camera will focus on it, but to me it seems like it's the original RTV. It feels very old, very brittle, like it's starting to crack and like it's all dried out. So pretty amazing that that wasn't leaking after all that time. And let me wash my hands and then we'll start getting all this out. And I just want to say to all you GTR guys like myself who've never done an engine rebuild and own a GTR, these cars are 25, 30 years old. Things are wearing out, things are broken, things need to be fixed. Not all of us can afford to pay a shop to do that. So that's why I started this channel, is to help people like myself who are automotive enthusiasts. I try to show everything in the greatest detail. That way when you guys watch this video and you get to the point where you need to do the work yourself on your own car, that you can visualize every part of the process, what's going to happen. That's what I take my time, is to really try to show you guys that. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Guys like Hanada R32, who's down in Texas. I get a lot of people, DMing me on Instagram and Facebook and like thanking me because they like the detail that I put into it. So I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the feedback. Let's get this finished up because I only got about 2 hours left before I got to get to work. All right, let's get this oil pickup off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen all the connecting rod bolts. I figured that would make more sense to loosen those first, break them loose, and then I'll take off the girdle bolts, get those loosened. I just want something to be holding the crankshaft to the main block steady as I'm loosening these. I figured that would make the most sense. Okay, all these connecting rod bolts are 14 mil. And I do have a bunch of Ziploc bags with all my hardware. The one thing I'm trying to figure out, I want to get all these rezinked. How am I going to rezink all these bolts? I talked to, New JDM. And they said that they can't just categorize bolts and do like one little batch at a time. They're going to put everything into a big vat and do it all at once. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to sort out once I get everything back and know which ones are which. You guys let me know if you have any ideas for that. Okay, I'm going to break all the mains loose. I'm going to break them all free by hand, and I'm going to just work my way from the inside out. Alright guys, so you can see all these main bolts are loose. I'm just going to pick the girdle straight up and off so I can leave the bolts in the original order. And we'll set it over there on the workbench. Here we go. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. This has been a long time coming. Like I said, my engine failed like last September. So I've had this on my mind for quite a few months. And you know, I've been feeling kind of depressed and unmotivated to get out here. I was drinking too much beer and just not getting anything done. But I haven't had anything to drink in the last month. And I've been working on my my mental health, my physical fitness, and just I don't know, kind of like my self-image, just trying to make myself feel better. I work in corrections. I've been a CO for the last 10 years, so working in law enforcement is kind of a depressing career field, and you're subjected to a lot of negative, different types of situations, and you see a lot of things that a lot of normal people just won't really understand unless you work in that line of business. So I've been trying to better myself, better everything else that I do in life. So hope you guys can relate with that. Sharing a little bit about myself. Other than that, I like to play Halo and stuff. We got somebody. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh. Can't believe I didn't die. I'm trying to get them with the needler. I don't really have a lot of free time. I work 60 hours, 50 to 60 hours a week. I work on my car project once a week and make YouTube videos the next day, so pretty much busy all the time. Let's use a flathead and get a little leverage on it. There we go. Alright guys, let's take a look at the crankshaft so I can see a little bit of scoring on the crank coming along. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, but it looks like it's actually in pretty good condition. And coming over to the bearings, they're going to show more evidence because they're softer. They're designed to fail before that steel crankshaft does. So looking at these, you can see a little bit of uneven wear. You can see there's a huge groove worn in that one. This middle one looks like it's wearing differently. Same thing with this one, but they're not all chewed up like I thought they would be. Same thing in this one. A little bit of a line catches my fingernail on it. But let's go ahead and get the connecting rods out next. Let's check out the rod bearings and set the pistons and everything up on the workbench, and then this disassembly process is fully done. Kind of cool, you can see little oil jets or oil squirters, whatever those are called down there. And the pistons are all covered in oil. And then we can pull the crankshaft out. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to put my hand underneath, support the piston, and just whack the top of the stud, which will allow me to push that out. All right, I'm just going to tap all these studs free. Now I can pull all the bearing caps up and out. I'm not sure if this is the exact order process of the way you're supposed to remove it, but the only thing I'm really caring about right now is that I don't damage the the main bearings in the block, which I know I'm not doing. So looking at the top of the connecting rods, I'm not seeing any scoring or any signs of major wear on those either. On those points of the crankshaft. Let's pull it up and out and we'll inspect everything. Alright guys, here we go. That sure is a heavy bugger. Some heavy metal. So here's a good look at the underside of all those main bearings. And again, I'm not really seeing a lot of damage, so I'm not sure if what I'm looking for, maybe the bearings just wore and we started losing material because there wasn't enough oil going through them. Like I said, I'm an RB26 new, I'm not an expert. This is the first engine I have ever taken apart. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below, what do you think is going on with my block? To me, I don't see any like major signs, but I'm glad I don't have a spun bearing or anything like that. So I'm gonna send over some pictures to Doug and Eric at UP Garage and just kind of see what they think about it. But yeah, I mean, this is good news. At least nothing's like catastrophically broken from what I can tell. All right guys, so we're gonna start removing the bearings from the mains, and this is the front of the engine. That's the water pump, oil pump side. And so this bearing's already out, came out with the crankshaft, but with this bearing, you've got these little divots, which I'll show you. Let's see if I can get this out. Okay, so what I'm showing you guys here, see that little nub right there? There's like a little protruding metal piece that comes out of that bearing. That goes right into this little groove right here. So when you reinstall the bearings, you have to put them in a specific way, otherwise they could potentially spin, and you don't want that. So when you put it in that way, that locks it into the groove, and it's not going to move on you. Center bearing's a little bit different, but you can get a flat head right behind the edge and just give it a little pressure to lift it up and out. And let's go ahead, I'm just going to start pushing pistons out, guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, it's covered in oil. A little different perspective, guys, for the bearings popping out of the bottom here. Easily come right out. They're full of oil, so I'm dumping them in and laying them in the exact orientation that came out. Just cut my finger open on the very last one I took out, damn it. Be right back, I gotta clean my hand up. So here's a look at all the cylinder bores with the pistons out. And I don't really see any signs of a lot of like excessive wear. Maybe those ones are a little bit, but I had huge metal fragments, like sheared off metal, to me, that I thought was the center cartridge of the turbo, that it had exploded, and I was told that it wasn't, and that it was the bearings of the engine. But I don't see really anything in here, guys. So let's go through each piston. Piston 1. Oh, they're even labeled 1, 2, 3, that's cool. Piston 2, piston 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those all look good to me. looking at all these bearings, I mean, they're probably worn, would be my guess, but the stuff that came out of the oil pan was more black than like this fine silvery color. So yeah, I really don't know. Look at all the mains. So you guys let me know what you think. What is your diagnosis? I'm pretty much out of time today. Let me spin the engine over. We'll look at the cylinder bores from the top, and then I'm gonna be out of time. I gotta head off to work here in about 20 minutes. I still need a shower. I gotta order some lunch, go pick it up, and then get to work. All right, so starting at cylinder 6, looking all the way down, I'll go nice and slow so you guys can see the detail. Cylinder 4, cylinder 3, cylinder 2 and 1. See, I mean, there's definitely some wear. All right, so this is coming from the other side. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pretty cool. You can see the oil squirters down there, right there. Kind of cool how they lay the oil into the cylinder bore for the piston rings. I wanted to look at these last bearings for the connecting rods here. So there's this one here, which looks good to me. I mean, that one still has cross hatching in it from the manufacturing process. That one too. So I'm not seeing anything specific. Oh. Well guys, it's the next morning. I had to refilm the outro because I filmed it zoomed in so you couldn't see anything, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm pretty much done for today's project. I might do another video of me coming back and removing the wrist pins out of the pistons themselves and maybe inspecting the wrist pins and seeing if there's any damage or any signs of wear there, as well as going over all the piston rings. You know what, let's get a good look at the piston rings while we're out here. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for, but that's the condition of the rings. You guys let me know what you see. But anyway guys, I will be back with more content. Join me at Ars Day. I'll have a whole bunch of videos. I'll probably shoot like 10 different videos when I'm down in California. From here, what's going to come next is when the Nitto stroker kit comes in. We'll send the block off, get everything looked at. Hopefully the block is good for the rebuild and the 2.8 stroker. While that's out of the machine shop, I'm going to strip the engine bay out. I got the high cast delete kit so I can rebuild the power steering pump. And then I want to get the engine bay repainted and everything. Once that's all done, motor goes back in. And I'm thinking probably a 1-year completion date before all that's done, before I can actually drive the car and get it up to where I want it to be. So anyway guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.